Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Thompson Family YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us for another video. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the essentials that you need for twins between the age of 3 to 6 months. I am the mom, as you guessed it, to twin boys, Jaden and Jerome, and they will be 7 months on March 4th. So we're kind of exiting out of that 6-month old era, and I'm really excited about that. So I decided, let me share with some other twin moms or twin dads or people who know twin parents and let them know what I find to be essential for this, age group. Now, I do want to say that what my boys like, your twins may not like it, or they may have, different personalities. And I've noticed that in my boys, Jaden and Jerome. Like, Jaden may love something, Jerome hates it. Jerome loves something, Jaden hates it. Like, for example, Jaden really loves playing with toys, and he'll keep himself occupied for an hour looking at toys, and he really likes, being read to. Now, Jerome, on the other hand, he's a lot more physical. He wants to be rocking and rolling, and that's how he keeps himself occupied. So, like, for example, last night, Jerome rocked himself to sleep for over an hour. He's just rocking. So I say that to say that what my kids like, yours may not, but this is just a guideline that you can use. Now, I did do another video before about the essentials from 0 to 3 months, and I'll link that down below so you can watch that video. A lot of the things are the same, but there were some additions. So if that is interesting to you, if you would like to get more information on what I found to be helpful, the items that I purchased from 3 to 6 months, please keep on watching, and please make sure to subscribe. Okay, so I want to start by talking about how I feed my boys. So I formula feed strictly. They have been on formula since they came out of the hospital, and I tried to breastfeed, it just didn't work for me, so we're strictly bottle fed. And so we use the Dr. Brown bottles, and now between 3 to 6 months, they've upgraded to the 8-ounce bottle. So that's what we use. I like those bottles because they help relieve gas, and I also use sensitive formula, the Similac Sensitive. So that has worked for us. And one thing I do want to point out that might make you guys' life easier if you do bottle feed is to get the ready to feed formula, which is super helpful at night because you don't have to go to your kitchen and make a bottle. The ready to feed, you can sit it by your nightstand, and if they do wake up in the middle of the night, you can just pour the formula into the bottle. So it makes it a lot easier, and it also makes it a lot easier when you are out and about. And as we all know, it's really hard to maneuver with twins because you got to get the car seat, put it in the stroller, etc. So it makes it really easier when you just have the formula already made. You don't have to worry about pre-measuring it or measuring it on the spot. Just use those ready-to-feed formula. And so I get the multi-pack of the Similac Sensitive ready-to-feed formula on Amazon. It's about $54, and you get 48 8-ounce bottles. So it comes in this huge box, and it's just really helpful. So that's the, I guess, 2 top things is the Dr. Brown bottles, 8 ounces, right? And then the ready-to-feed formula. The next thing that we used a lot, I probably got 5 or 6 of these, is the Orajel Day and Night Teething Relief. Now, where my boys at, they're both teething right now, and you can kind of see the teeth getting ready to erupt out of their gums. So you use the Day and Night one and the Day and Night, and it's like instant cooling relief. I just take my finger, put a little bit of the, wash my hands, put a little bit of the gel on my finger, and then just wipe it in their mouth. And if you don't want to, and literally they take your hand like this, and they're like, yes. If you don't want to use your hand, you can also use a cotton tip or whatever, a Q-tip, and rub it in their mouth as well, and that's been really helpful. Another thing that I use for teething is the teething rings. So I got them at my local grocery store. 2 came in a pack, so I'm like, oh, they were thinking about me. And it's literally like a ring that has liquid in it. You put it in the fridge, 30 minutes, an hour, you take it out. They can grab it like a toy, and they also put it in their mouth and gnaw on it. And it's really helpful to relieve that, you know, pain that they're feeling from teething. Another thing that I use for teething are the Aldi's teething wafers, and they are like cylinder and about 3 inches long, and they can chew it, and it relieves the tension as well as it dissolves right in their mouth, so there's really not so much of like a choking hazard. And those are pretty cheap. I think they're like $2 at Aldi's. That was an impulse buy, but I'm really glad that I got it. And they have different flavors. They're made of like rice flour, and they have strawberry banana, apple cinnamon, these different flavors. I tried some. I think it just tastes like air, but these guys really like it. So that's another thing that was really helpful with teething. Now, that brings me to my next point. Typically, babies start solids when they're 6 months old. That is the recommendation. Now, with my boys, I really started them at around 4.5, 5 months. And at that point, it was really just the cereal. And so I know, like, people say do not put the cereal in the bottle and mix it with the formula, but that's what I did. And the reason why I did that, even though it was against my pediatrician's, you know, advisement, I did that because, you know, I guess old wives' tale, or, you know, like what old school parenting, like Jerome's mom, my aunts, they will all say, just put a little bit of the cereal in there and it will hold them longer, because I really felt like I was giving them a large amount of formula, just the liquid itself, and they were just guzzling it down, and then they'd be like, okay, what's next? And I'm like, that's it. Like, that was your recommended dosage. Like, you're not getting any more. And so what I did is I got the Gerber's rice cereal as well as the oatmeal. I sprinkled just a tad bit, and I tell you, that lasted them a lot longer. And I just mixed it with the formula, just a little sprinkle, the water, gave it to them, and I was seeing that the time in between feedings was much longer. So I really appreciated that. And I started that around, like I said, 4.5, 5 months. And most pediatricians don't recommend bottle feeding with the cereal unless your baby has acid reflux, but I'm just telling you what worked for me, okay? So now that they're 6 months going into 7 months, they are eating solids. Now, one thing that you want to get with eating solids is a high table. Number one, you don't want them to choke if they're laying down. You don't want them to choke on the solids. So it helps them to sit up and to prepare to eat like, you know, big kids. So I only got one high chair because I was like, well, I'll probably only feed them one at a time. I kind of wish that I got 2 so I could do them at the same time, but I only have 1, and I sit one on the high table. I give them about 9 tablespoons of the, you know, Gerber baby food stage 1 supported sitter, and then I give them the bottle with a little bit of the cereal in it. And so what I like about them sitting in a high table is, 1, it helps them to sit up because neither one of my boys are really sitting up right now. And then 2, it gets them prepared to eat with utensils. And when I'm feeding them with the little baby spoon, it's so funny, like Jerome loves solids. Like I don't, like, he couldn't wait to be on solids. And he is like, this is the strongest baby that I've ever met. And like, my aunt was like, you were the strongest baby. Like, I don't know, he is Hercules. And this boy grabs the spoon and he's holding it so hard that his little fingers are like turning white and pink in between. And he's like, yes, give me more, give me more. And then when like I close the top of the Gerber, he's like, ah. So, like I said, they're different. Jaden, not so much. He's not really into the solids yet. We still keep trying, but he's more into the cereal and the bottle. So, like I said, they are different personalities. They're going to grow at different times and advance and hit milestones differently. But to sum it all up, get a high table because it helps them to strengthen their back and their core so they're able to sit up, and then they're able to use utensils like, you know, adults and big kids. Now, transitioning out of that, one thing that I got that was really a game changer was a very large pack and play. So the one that I purchased is from Amazon. I think it was about $45. No. Yeah, about $45, and it's literally the size of 2 standard pack and plays together. So it's just one large play area. And then it did not come with the pad that you need, so you have to buy the pad separately. But I'm telling you, if this is one thing that I recommend everyone to get of this whole video, it's that. And the reason why I say that is, number one, it's a safe space, right? It's a safe space where you can go do your laundry or take a shower, and you know that they're not going to fall off the couch, they're not going to fall off the bed, they're not going to crawl out of it, because it's basically like a netted cage. I don't want to say that, but it's like a netted area where you know there's no way they can escape this unless they just magically turn into a kangaroo and just jump over it, right? So I really like that. The second reason why I like it, besides the safety and security of it, is that you're able to put their toys in it and they're able to keep themselves occupied for a little bit, right? So I love that feature of it. And then the third reason why I really love it is because it's bigger than a standard pack and play. It's bigger than a crib, and they have space where they can practice all the physical movement that they want. Like when I tell you, Jerome is in there rolling, crawling, flipping, you know, all this stuff in that pack and play. And like sometimes I hear like a thud, and I'm like, are you okay? And he's in there like doing handstands. So, and it's so funny, like he does this thing where he does like a downward dog pose, and like their babysitter thinks that he's just gonna get up and start walking at like 11 months because he's like trying to be upright. And then he falls over. So that's the thud. So that play area allows for them to do that. It allows Jaden, who's a very tall and long baby, it allows him to rock without having like the thought of, oh my God, are they gonna fall, you know? And then like I used to just put them on the rug and let them do their thing. But then they started crawling off of the rug onto the hardwood floor. So I love that pack and play, the play area. I really recommend that you guys do that. All right, the next thing that I really recommend that you guys get is a night light. Okay, our boys sleep in a room with us every single night, right? And so it's really helpful to keep that night light on, because when you get up to feed them, you don't want to fall over, trip, hurt yourself, right? But if you're waking up in the middle of the night, like you don't want to turn on the night light, not the night light, but like your lamp, because then it might wake up the other one, or you might wake up your partner. So if you have the night light on and you get everybody in the room used to sleeping with the night light, it's really helpful. It's helpful for your safety, for your partner's safety, and it also helps you to pour that ready to feed into the bottle, so you don't pour it and it's all over the bed or it's all over your floor or whatever. So recommend you getting a night light. I got mine on Amazon. It was probably $15, but we use it every single night. Okay. And then the last thing that I recommend you getting and using daily is some type of like skin protectant. So we use Destin, and we've also used Aquaphor, and honestly they're both great. And what our pediatrician recommended we did was use that skin protector as a barrier, so the skin is building up that protection against a diaper rash. and don't just use it when you have a diaper rash. So I recommend getting a few of these, and every time I do like a diaper change, I put on, me and Jerome both put on the Desk, and we both put on the Aquaphor every single time, and they've never had a diaper rash, Jinx. Since they've been born, they've never had it. So that has been a game changer, because who wants to have chafed skin? That hurts, and they don't deserve that. So give your twins some skin protectant, okay? Now, I want to transition this video into things that we don't use anymore, okay? And we used them when they were like 0 to 3 months, but we don't use them anymore. The number one thing is the Twinsy pillow. I really wanted to love the Twinsy pillow. I really wanted to. And guess what? It really worked when they could not move and they were like sitting in there when they were 0 to 3 months, and like they really weren't going anywhere. You plop them on there and it's like, yes, you're safe. You could feed them at the same time. Now that they're way more mobile and physical at, 6 months, it doesn't work. I sit them on there, right? And I put them on the couch. Jerome flips off. Jaden flips off. I'm like, okay, let me tuck you guys into it, right? With your back against the pillow. But then I feel like I am limiting the movement that they have in their hips, and I don't want to do that. So it just doesn't work for us anymore. I like to lay on it because it's comfortable, but it was $174, and I just feel like that purchase was not warranted now because it's just not working for us now. And because I'm not breastfeeding or anything like that, it just doesn't work. Now, it may work for other moms, and that's why I was really hopeful that it would work for us because of the reviews, but like honestly, that thing is just not working for us. So we don't use the Twinsy pillow anymore, but because of the cost, I don't want to throw it away. So maybe in the future, maybe they may like it more. So I'll come back and let you guys know at like 6 to 9 months. Another thing that I purchased that they used maybe twice was a walker. Now, the reason why I purchased this walker was because I really want them to sit up. So I thought that if they would sit in the walker and practice, walking with this mobile chair, that they would start sitting up more. But when I told my pediatrician this, I thought she was gonna curse me out. Like, for real. She was basically saying that walkers are not good for babies because the same thing I was saying about the Twinsy. It limits their hips and it puts a strain on it. So it's not good for babies to use walkers. So now the walker's just sitting there and I'm like, what do I do with this? And the same reason why I got the high chair is kind of the same reason why I got the walker. And then another thing that we don't really use so much is the Dr. Brown 4-ounce bottles. If I was smart, I would have just got the 8-ounce from the get-go instead of doing the 4 ounces, because now I have all these 4-ounce bottles and we don't use them anymore because they drink like 2 of those. So they're like, when they see that 4-ounce bottle, they're like, we don't want that. Give us the 8 ounces. Give us the 8 ounces. So anyway, guys, that is everything that we have used from the 3 to 6 months. Everything else, the diapers, the wipes, that you have to get that stuff. They need clothes. Not too much, because I bought way too many clothes. Way too many clothes. These boys have more clothes than their mom and dad combined. I bought way too many clothes. But they need those things. So this video hopefully was helpful in knowing some of the other things that you should buy. I know a lot of the other YouTubers may say, oh, they need this, they need that, they don't need so much stuff, okay? But they do need some of the things that I mentioned in this video. So hopefully that was helpful to you. Give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and let me know if you liked it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Now, I do want to mention that, for them getting a cold, you need to talk to your pediatrician and see what they recommend. Like, my pediatrician said it's okay for them to take Tylenol, but that's basically it. But me now being defiant, I, number one, got them Nature's Bliss cold and flu medication, and on the box it said that you can use it for 4 months up, and it also had the day and the night one, so I give them a little bit in the day, a little bit at the night when they're sick. Now, when they were newborn to 3 months old, you could not give babies medication, and you really don't want to test it, so the only thing you could really do was use a humidifier. Now, the humidifier was really helpful in clearing up their cold that they had when they were about 2 months old. Now they have a cold at 6 months old, and I use the Nature's Bliss cold medicine in the daytime and a little bit at the nighttime, 2.5 ml, and I'm seeing that they are clearing up in like 2 days. And I also at night, in conjunction with the medication, use the humidifier. So I do recommend getting a humidifier. Don't get the kids one because it's honestly like the same thing and probably more expensive. Just get like a regular humidifier, and you can get them for cheap at like Goodwill. You can also get them at CVS, you know, Walmart, Amazon, whatever, and also get some type of cold medication that you want to have on hand. And not just the cold medication, also get some gripe water, okay? It's really helpful for like stomach sensitivities and stomach issues, digestion issues, especially as they're starting solids. I also got a constipation medication, Nature's Bliss as well. All of the medication I've gotten so far has been Nature's Bliss from Target, but the constipation medicine really works. Now, originally I was going to try to feed them a little bit of prune juice, but I'm like, you know what, let me just get a medication that has prune juice extract, and it worked because Jaden was, you know, new to the solids, introduced to the solids, and he was really backed up. And that's uncomfortable as a baby because they can't vocalize exactly what they're feeling. But I could see him, you know, drawing up his legs to his stomach and, you know, curling up and crying and farting. So I'm like, okay, he must be constipated. Gave him a little dosage of the constipation medication. And I can tell you, the next day, the babysitter was like, yeah, he went. So make sure you have those things on hand for your kids. I do want to mention in terms of colds and them having like mucus, sore throat, runny nose.